All right, what up? So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to go into some Facebook groups, some high ticket closer, remote sales Facebook groups, and I'm going to pull up some jobs that I have not looked at yet, and we're going to go over what good jobs look like and what bad jobs look like. Now I've got these jobs pulled up, but I haven't looked into them exclusively or into any detail yet. So we're just going to do this on the fly. Also, I have a list right here that I'm going to probably link in the description of all of these groups where I know you can find legitimate sales roles. So I don't know how many it is. I think it might be 70 of them, but you can join all these groups. Some of them are private. All that means is that you just have to request to join. They'll accept you pretty much right away. That's how it went for me. So in these groups, I'm going to link this as a Google Doc below, and you can go in to all these groups and you can find jobs. Now, this is the first job. One of the things that you want to look for when you're looking at job postings in Facebook groups is how much information are they giving you? Do they give you lots of information? Are they giving you details? That's a good thing, right? That indicates that the role might be legitimate. So if they're giving you a long description, that's sometimes going to be a good thing. Now, first thing I'm seeing here, this guy saying, hey, we're hiring for sales reps. Your on target earnings are anywhere between 6K to 20K monthly. Now, that's a large range, but that could be, hey, they've got someone making 20K, someone making 6, and then other people in between. My first thought is that this probably means they have a lot of sales reps. So there's going to be a larger range the more reps that you have. But if someone's making 20K a month, that's a good sign. Next, no outbound or cold leads. That's definitely good. All of our leads are warm and inbound. That's what you want to look for. B2C coaching. Again, coaching programs, that's good. This is a full-time role. And he reiterates, this is not a cold calling position or a new offer. Then you get to this. He says, we have a team of 25 plus. Now, I don't know if he means sales reps because he doesn't really specify. He just says we have a team of 25 plus. So I don't really know there. He's not really giving you enough information. But then he goes on to talk a little bit more about the role. So this looks like a good role to me. And it's important to note, you're never going to really know how, if a role is 100% legitimate until you actually speak with someone, because they can mislead you, right? But the more specific information that they give you, like he is doing, those are good signs. And when they do post these roles, which this one is old as hell and I didn't even see that, you want to apply immediately. So when you're in these groups and they pop up, you want to apply to them as fast as you can. That's why I talk about in the other videos. You want to be in these groups for a short time every day so you can see the new jobs pop up and you can apply to them as fast as possible. But again, it doesn't matter how old this role is. This is just videos just to show you examples of what good jobs look like and what bad jobs look like. So don't worry about that stuff. Now here we're in a different group and I'm going to show you a job that is very misleading. So right away in all caps, they're like appointment setters, sales reps needed. And you're like, yay, that's awesome. And then you come down here and it says 35 to 50K, depending on experience, plus bonuses. What are bonuses? Sometimes they will use the bonuses thing to like hook you in, like, oh, hey, it'll be awesome, right? And I'll tell you why they're using bonuses in a second. Saturday, Sunday off, paid holidays off, PTO. But first of all, 35 to 50K, that's probably not what you're looking for. But if you come down here and they start talking about the salary and she reiterates all this other stuff, your first responsibility is to conduct outbound calls to prospects and leads. Now, if you want to do that, sure, go ahead. But in high ticket sales, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for inbound warm leads. So she's giving you all this information and he's like, oh, look, appointment setters, like you get all these bonuses to try to hook you in, but this is going to be a strictly outbound role and it's probably going to be very tough as well. You have to do the outbound, you have to engage with the clients, you have to qualify the leads, you have to schedule the appointments. Like you're basically just doing cold outreach for someone and they're telling you that you will get bonuses the more like people you schedule or sales you make. But that's not a good opportunity if you're looking to make a lot of money. There are much better opportunities out there. So the question is, why does their business need a bunch of people to do outbound? Why don't they have warm inbound leads already? That probably means their business is not at a point where they have a legitimate product or service that a lot of people are buying. I can't really tell you where the business is at just from looking at this post. But if it's outbound, I would say avoid it because that's not what we're doing here. Now, here is a shorter description of a job that could actually turn out to be good or bad. And it's also a newer one. But he basically comes in and says, we're looking to hire DM setters. And then he says, high ticket sales, $30,000. So since they're hiring setters, there's no setter that I know of that's making 30K a month. So he's obviously talking about 30K a year. That's not even like, that's 2,500 a month, maybe. Like, that's not what you're looking for. However, if you were looking for something part-time and you want to set on top of a full job and you're like, hey, I could use the extra 2,500 a month, then maybe this would be a good opportunity for you. Just because he's not giving you a full description doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but this is kind of a red flag to me. Basically, what I would do when I would see this, since I'm not getting enough information and it's a role or a job posting for setters, I would just apply to it anyway and see what happens. Again, you don't want to get too bogged down. I've talked about this in other videos. You don't want to get too bogged down in one post and be like, I don't know, do I want to apply to this or not? Just kind of look at it and see what they're saying. Read over it and then just send the application or fill out the application, send the message. You need to be doing volume. You need to be applying to a lot of these. You need to be messaging a lot of people. That's how you're going to end up with a good role, not analyzing the shit out of every single posting that you come across. The point is just to show you visually what things to look for and what things are setting off red flags for me and what things are setting off green flags for me. So if you're looking for a setter role and you're like, hey, I could use an extra two to 3K a month, I would apply to this for sure. Now, this one is very, now I wouldn't say misleading, but is going to throw a lot of people off. This guy just basically made a post and he's like, I'm looking for a high ticket closer in the real estate investing space, ideally with experience in Gordon script work, experience required. 12% commissions, 9K offer, which is really good. And he says, I'm verified with years of case studies. So he's been doing this a while. Basically, I'm getting the impression from this guy that he's probably running a very, very successful business and he just lost a closer and he's like, I'll just go make this job posting in a Facebook group. So if you saw this pop up and you applied to it immediately or sent him a DM immediately, you could land a very, very good role. 9K offer, that's amazing. You're closing for a 9K offer and he's giving you a 12% commission, not 10%. That's good. He says he's got years of case studies. So this, to me, that's what this looks like. This guy is probably very busy running a very successful business and he's like lost a closer or something or a spot opened up and he's like, damn, I need somebody fast. And he just went and made a quick post just because he's looking for somebody. So if you caught something like this at the right time, you could possibly get in there and get a really, really good closer role. So that's the impression I'm getting from this. Just because he's not giving you all the information or any details, it's probably because this role is really good. And he's like, I'm just looking for someone. I need to find somebody quick. Sometimes the better the role, the less they're going to advertise it. And sometimes the more information they give you, the more I'm skeptical. Like when they do these really, really long posts with all this information, I'm like, why are you doing this? It seems very, I know that seems backwards, but when you've seen enough of these and seen enough of these good job postings and bad postings, these are the flags that are going off for me. So if you see something like this where it's an expensive ass offer and they're giving you 12% commissions and he's got years of case studies, that's a good opportunity. Now, this is another posting for a setter that I think looks like a good opportunity. So phone appointment setter, location is remote, obviously. You get a 5K base salary a month, which I have said before in videos. I've seen that sometimes as a setter, you get a base. That's a good thing. So you get a 5K base a month salary. So plus 8% commission, probably on every sale that a closer closes that you have scheduled. And they're saying the on-target earnings would be between 10K and 16K a month. So what he's basically saying is your commissions are going to be between 5 and 11K, which on average as a setter, you can make 5 to 8K. Maybe on a really good month, you'd make 11K. So I don't think these claims are that outrageous. But just based on that, it looks good so far. Then he kind of goes into describing the job, the responsibilities, set a minimum of 4 calls a day, utilize effective blah, blah, blah requirements. He wants someone with experience, preferably in the high ticket space. So he's in high ticket and then just other nonsense. But these numbers look good. He gives you a lot of information without droning on. So this looks like a good job posting to me. I would definitely send this guy a message. So this one I also like. It says they're hiring two closers. We're hiring two additional high ticket closers to take sales calls with qualified inbound leads. And I like this because she gives you a lot of numbers. So their current close rate is averaging 30%, which is pretty normal. The offer price, they looks like they've got two of them, 7,500 to 13K. There could be something in the middle, but most likely they've got a $7,500 offer and then a more expensive 13K offer. So it's really expensive. Remember, the more expensive the product, that's better for you as the closer. And then she gives you examples of probably what they're seeing. So 5 calls a day, 25 a week, 100 a month. If they have an 80% show rate, that's really good. But again, I can't verify that through a job posting. Uh, but she does this math out for you, right? So 30% close rate, that means 24 closes, 7,500 equals 750 commission per unit. 18K a month in just commissions, and then bonuses and an optional base. So she gives you a lot of numbers, but you would need to clarify all this in detail in the interview. I cannot stress that enough. So if you message this person and got an interview, you would want to take these numbers on there and get her to clarify and verify that for you, which again, I have other videos where I tell you the questions that you need to ask on interviews. So I've gone over those before, but when they give you this type of information, I like it and I also don't like it because it just depends, right? Like you're going to have to verify no matter what. But in my opinion, this looks like a good offer and a good role. So I would definitely send the messages. So, and just to go over again, when it comes to Facebook groups, you need to spend a short amount of time in these groups, just perusing through these groups every day. And you need to apply to these good jobs when they pop up. So you don't want to be coming like 2 weeks later to a post because they've already found somebody. Like people are going to hit these much faster. You don't need to hit them in like 2 seconds, but you do need to get in there like the same day, right? So make sure you're spending a short amount of time in these groups every day. Just look for some new job postings, send a couple messages. If they leave a link for you to apply, go apply at the link and just make sure that you're on top of it every day for a short amount of time so you can get to the newest job postings like before a lot of other people do. And the longer you do this, like the more days in a row you look in these groups and look at job postings, you're quickly going to get the hang of this. You're quickly going to be like, this is a scam or this is like a really good opportunity. But at the end of the day, remember that you want to be doing volume. So read a post, make a decision, send a message, or fill out the app. Like it should be bang, bang, bang. Like don't sit here for like 10 minutes on one post, like, I don't know, let me analyze this. Let me look at their website for 30 minutes. Just send the message. Just do the application. The main way you're going to verify for sure if something is legit or not is when they reply back to you and they're like, hey, we want to interview you. On the interview, that is the only place you could verify for a fact if something is legit or not. So this is just to show you examples of what these job postings look like. So you have like some visuals. And when you come in here, that can help you out. Like you have this to refer back to, and I'm going to make a few more videos just like this with other job postings too. So there will be many more of these, but you just want to apply to as many as you can. In my video, I think it's called, I don't remember what it's called, but where I lay out the whole path of what your day will look like. Oh, it's called Your Path from Your Job to High Ticket Sales or something. Path from Your Job, that's in the title. I talk about how you need 1 solid hour a day to do this. So if you can commit 1 solid hour a day to this and you spend a little bit of that time in these Facebook groups just looking for job postings and applying to them, that's good enough. You just want to make sure you do it every day. You don't need to be spending 6 hours a day in these groups. That's ridiculous. Just get in here, look at some new job postings, send them a message, hit their links, and be done with it. And just to clarify again, I'm going to put the link to the Google Doc with all the Facebook groups that I went in and looked that have job postings. I'm going to put that in the description and just make sure that you go through all of those. There's so many of them, like it's impossible for you to run out of these groups. So make sure you go into those groups, join them. Some of them are going to be private, but all you have to do is request to join. So it's not a big deal. And you should be able to find good roles in these groups because people are going to post them. People post jobs all the time. Some of the groups are going to be, they're not going to be much. And then other ones, you're going to find a lot of good jobs. That's just how it's going to go. Groups will be really hot one day and then they'll die a week later. So Don't worry about that. Just look and find the good groups that are like hot right now and that are posting jobs and focus on those. Like I said, I will make another video like this with more Facebook group examples, job posting examples, but that is it for this video. I don't want it to get too long. So if you want my help getting a closer role or a setter role, schedule a call with me with the link down below and we can talk. Until next time.